Hi, I'm Dave Hook, President and founder of Planehook Aviation Services. We specialize in providing airports and aircraft operators low-cost, effective security methods. Today, I want to talk about how you can protect your airport against terrorists and thieves. These bad actors are going to conduct surveillance against your airport. Let's look at what your adversary's attack cycle probably looks like. At Planehook, we use a 5-step model. First, your adversary is going to plan and evaluate whether they even want to take from or do something to your airport. Once they conclude that it's feasible, then they will begin investing in attacking your airport, and as with many human endeavors, the more deeply they invest, the less likely they are to give up their plan without obtaining something of value, something from your airport. And as you can see here from the diagram, after planning and evaluation, they proceed into the collection or the information collection phase. They take that information and evaluate it, and if there's sufficient information, then they will proceed on to the action planning phase, taking that plan of action and then executing it in the execution phase. Where you are most likely to spot them is in the collection phase. If they are in the collecting phase, you have a pretty good chance of being able to dissuade them. If it's in the execution phase, however, you may have the home field advantage, but they have the initiative. In the collection phase, they are collecting against you, and they do this through direct observation and indirect observation, now typically through the use of technology like public access, geographic information systems, satellite imagery, and open sources of information like newspapers and other forms of media. Next, they may conduct interviews. Now, nothing quite so formal. They're going to use solicitation and recruiting, and they're typically going to favor recruiting if possible because this gains an insider's knowledge into their operations. And believe me, it's quite difficult to out-scrimmage an opponent that already knows your playbook. Then they begin evaluating because the adversary is determining your strengths, your weaknesses, and your schedules. Then the adversary determines the location that that desired target, that asset, is going to be. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a black hat vulnerability assessment against you. But you haven't lost yet. Here's your opportunity to win. In the early phases of the attack cycle, you're on the offense. The adversaries typically must expose themselves directly to observe your airport, and they'll do this typically at least once, then directly or indirectly if they choose to interview you, your employees, and airport users or neighbors, and finally perhaps indirectly if they use technical surveillance equipment like video and closed-circuit television cameras. And this all happens during the collection phase of the attack cycle. Here you're still on offense, and you have the home field advantage. So how can you counter this adversary? First, perform your own vulnerability assessment. Know where you are strong. Know where you are weak. Know where the attractive assets are located on your airport. And know where your blind spots to surveillance are. Again, you're still on offense. You can call the shots here, so take action to mitigate your weaknesses with a counter-surveillance plan. Now, let's look at a couple of likely scenarios. There's our surveillant. Sometimes the best approach is a direct, polite approach. So let's go find out what he wants. Sir, can I help you?
Professionals conducting surveillance like to see without being seen, such as the case on this seldom used perimeter road near the airport with trees all around. Let's see what our surveiller is looking at. Off in the distance, we can see he's either looking at a helicopter on the right or fuel tanks on the left. In conducting your counter-surveillance assessment, you need to recognize where you can be observed and where it's difficult for you to see who is there. Know where you're vulnerable. At Plainhook, we call these red zones. Then share this information that you develop with your local law enforcement agency and ask for routine patrols in that area. Next, ask your airport users and tenants to be vigilant in these areas when driving or casually observing that area, because they may have a better field of view than you do. Ask nearby home and business owners who may be able to see that area to inform you of any suspicious activities. And in any case, never assume that someone else has seen and reported the unusual activity you see. Take positive action.
Whether you're an aircraft owner, an airport manager, or both, having an effective, coordinated counter-surveillance and response program at your airport and with your local law enforcement just makes sense. Call us at Plainhook at Country Code 1, area code 210-653-8442, or email us at plainhook@hotmail.com. Until next time, fly safe and be secure.